Hello everybody, ArashiYT here, and since 2015 I created over 800 videos on this channel. Most of them were game related, like let's plays of Pokemon, but sometimes I even made some sketches, and I also made 2 short films. The first one being Hypnose Revenge, which came out in 2017, and the last one in 2021 was Cookie Monster. But what if I told you that most of the videos that I made are linked together to create one big story, which I call the Arashi Cinematic Universe. So most videos that were random or like out of place, and you probably wondered what does this video mean, they were all linked to create one big story. And in this video I will explain from the very beginning up till the end, which is the latest short film that I released, Cookie Monster, to what the whole story is about and how it is all linked. And I can already assure you that I'm planning to make a sequel to Cookie Monster that will combine all of the stories, and we will have one big finale and a conclusion, which is the Arashi Cinematic Universe. So grab some popcorn, get ready, because this is going to be one hell of a ride you won't want to miss. Of course, this video will be spoiler heavy if you haven't watched the Hypnose Revenge and Cookie Monster short films. So if you haven't watched those already, be sure to go and watch them, and it will make a lot more sense after watching this video. So if you haven't already, go watch them. Otherwise, fair warning for spoilers. So, to begin the whole story, we have to go back all the way to the beginning of this channel, all the way to 2015. May 18th of 2015 to be exact, when I released Robo-Me from the future. Now, Robo-Me from the future was supposed to be the 50th video on my channel, so I wanted to celebrate that with a sketch, but this sketch started it all. So, in this video, I was just doing my thing, and suddenly someone was knocking on the door. Who can that be? I open up the door, and lo and behold, it's myself. But like, not really myself. It's like, as the title suggests, a Robo-Me from the future who came from the past to warn me about something that was going to happen in the future. But me, being arrogant or ignorant, decided to brush it off when I saw that most of this robot was created by Sega, which was a lame joke, but you know, I was not a great YouTuber back then. Maybe I'm not even that right now. But in the end of that sketch, Robo-Me from the future, and I will just give him the name Arashi Clone or Clone Arashi, but he ends the sketch with "must kill Gerard," which is my real name. Can be helped. Must kill Gerard. And this would lead and start the whole Arashi Cinematic Universe. This small sketch that I created to celebrate my 50th video, and I don't even think it was my 50th video. Maybe it was the 50th video that I created, but I know from the top of my head it was not the 50th video that I uploaded it. But that aside, Robo-Me from the future is the official start of the Arashi Cinematic Universe. But things are starting to get even more crazier, cause we will meet another big part of the cinematic universe within my channel. So let's fast forward a few months later in 2015. 30 October of 2015 to be exact, when I uploaded the video Hes Here. Now this video was just me shaving my beard for 1 minute and 30 seconds, but as longer the video progresses, you know, the video becomes more static, and at one point it becomes unwatchable. And if you look closely, like halfway through the video, you can see two glowing red eyes in the corner of the door. And then you will see the text, "He's here," flashing before your screen. And at the end of the video, you can slowly see like Hypno, the Pokemon Hypno, in the corner of the door. And the video just ends with a black screen and the cry of Hypno. But after that, I never explained what that video meant. You never saw a follow-up of that video. It was just there, leading up to my first short film in 2017. But we're not there yet, because first we still have to deal with clone Arashi. Because what's the story with him? Well, let's just follow up with that story, shall we? Alright, so on the 6th of June in 2016, I uploaded the video Pokemon Genning vs Breeding. The truth? Question mark? And in this video, it's basically me starting off with a sketch and then, you know, talking about the whole discussion whether you should breed or gen in Pokemon. But that sketch is linked with the whole Arashi Cinematic Universe. Because in that sketch, I explain what the positive influence genning could have. And as an example, I used an action replay and inserted into myself. And in that video, I cloned myself. Clone of myself. So hi there. And that is the origin story of Clone Arashi. Yes, that's right. The clone that I created in this video was the clone from RoboMe from the future. This would be the clone that would go back in time to tell Arashi back in 2015, a year ago, like, I need to warn you about something. But it turned out that, again, because in RoboMe from the future, because I was being a jerk, it was leading to become that problem. So that small joke in the breeding versus genning video was an excuse for me to come up with the origin story of Clone Arashi and setting up the whole storyline of Clone Arashi trying to, you know, kill me or doing something else, which I will explain in the next video that we'll be looking at in this Arashi Cinematic Universe. But it's kinda ironic that a Pokemon video, or a video that's revolved around Pokemon, would be the origin story of Clone Arashi, which makes it even better in my opinion. But let's go to the next video where things really starting to heat up. The 23rd of August 2016, where I uploaded the video simply called Special Video, all in lowercase. And in this video, I'm just trying to do my own stick, you know, the "Hey everybody, SSA here, welcome to another special video." And then I suddenly got interrupted. And even more, I got attacked. And you see me like laying on the ground, like, am I dead? Am I unconscious? My eyes are open, what's going on? Then it switches to like a person laughing, like throwing out the trash, literally. And then you see someone that looks like me in my bedroom, in the mirror, trying to imitate me. And then in the end, he got it nailed down, and you just see an evil laugh from this person. And this person, yes, is also clone Arashi. But at this point, you can't really call him a clone anymore. And at this point, I would say that clone Arashi kinda changed himself into anti-Arashi, or Dark Arashi, or whatever you name it. Anti-Arashi just sounded more nicer. And yeah, the video just end abruptly. Like, what happened? Did Arashi die? Did the clone or anti-Arashi took over him? Like, what is going on? This was like such a random video at the time of my channel, and it will be leading up to like a more complicated storyline, but it was the first time when the clone Arashi, you can actually saw like evilness inside of him, and like it will be leading up to even more stuff in the future. But let's just go to something a little bit more different, which is a channel trailer that I created. And yes, even a channel trailer on my channel had some links in the Arashi Cinematic Universe. The 4th of January 2017, when I uploaded Super Suna Arashi channel trailer 2017. It starts out with a guy with blonde hair, playing on his 2DS, playing Pokemon obviously, when suddenly a voice talks to him and he jumps like, who is this person? Well, I can already tell you guys that the person talking in this video, the voiceover for this channel trailer, is indeed clone Arashi, or anti-Arashi, whatever you call him.
Hi there!
Oh, hey.
Do you perhaps like gaming?
Well, yeah.
Good!
And he's talking to this guy like, hey, did you know about this guy called Super Suna Arashi, this YouTuber? And the guy's like, no, who? And then, you know, the channel trailer is just like the person telling the guy who is, you know, Super Suna Arashi and what kind of videos he makes. But then in the end, he's like, hey, you better subscribe or we'll kidnap your dog. And if you don't have a dog, we'll give you one and then kidnap it. And then it also ends with like, we know where you live. Like, it becomes a little bit like, okay, that's maybe a little bit unnecessary, but it's anti-Arashi, it's clone Arashi talking to the viewers like, hey, you better subscribe now because I have the channel now, or else there will be consequences. Like, it's a small detail, but you can see like, alright, clone Arashi is still there. He's controlling it, but we don't know what's gonna happen next. But we know what's gonna happen next because we're going to go into much more detail now. Alright, Hot Pokemon Cards, which was uploaded in 2017, 11th of August 2017. And this video was supposed to be like, hey, I'm ArashiYT and I'm going to show you some awesome Pokemon cards, some awesome artwork. But at the beginning of the video, you can kind of see like something is out of the extraordinary. Like the video is glitching out. You can see that you're seeing images that aren't supposed to be there. And at a certain point, Arashi just passed out. And who emerges after Arashi passing out? Well, the same figure that you see in special video. And we already explained that in special video, it was the clone Arashi, like taking out ArashiYT and then trying to, you know, imitating him. And with this video, Hot Pokemon Cards, we learned that ArashiYT and the clone are now one and the same person. ArashiYT probably got taken over by the clone, but the clone probably lost the struggle between ArashiYT and his clone. So ArashiYT still has the clone, the darker version of him inside of him, and occasionally it just pops out, and this was one of the video where the dark side of Arashi, clone Arashi, anti-Arashi, whatever you call them, popped out and is like, oh, you want to see some hot Pokemon cards? I'll give you some hot Pokemon cards, and just set a Pokemon card on fire. It explained the whole situation of like, alright, you know about Clone Arashi, what became more sinister. After special video, we didn't know what happened with Arashi. Did he got killed off by the clone? No. They became one and the same person. So ArashiYT has a darker side of himself right now, but he can control it, but sometimes he just loses it, and then the dark side takes over. And there was also like a video in between special video and this video. I think it was named question mark, which was like just a video of me like staring at the camera with some spooky music in the background. That was kind of like the video where it was shown that ArashiYT was taking over by his clone self. So Hot Pokemon Cards was actually an important video and story, the part of the story in this whole, you know, timeline of like the Arashi Cinematic Universe, because we now learned that Arashi and his clone self are one and the same person, and you can kind of say like, okay, that's the clone saga of ArashiYT done. But we still have like one more issue that we haven't mentioned in a while now, which was the Hypno from Hes Here. When is he going to come into play? Well, we're in 2017, and lo and behold, what came out in 2017? The short film Hypnose Revenge. So, 2 years after Hes Here came out Hypnose Revenge, which was my first short film. Now, immediately at the beginning of the film, we see another familiar character, which is the guy with the blonde hair from the channel trailer, who turns out to be ArashiYT's brother, who came to check on Arashi because he didn't answer in quite a long while. So the brother of ArashiYT comes to Arashi's house, finds like a medallion, like a hypnotizing medallion, and it's like, okay, what's happening? He sees the bird of Arashi like all panicked out, and then he comes into Arashi's room, saw something, and immediately gets killed off, and we don't know what happened. Then we go 2 days before the events of the start of this short film, and we see ArashiYT making a video, taking a nap, and then things starting to happen. He begins to hear things. He tries to investigate. And it turns out that the same Hypno from 2 years ago is finally making his move. Attacks ArashiYT, and at the end of the video, we see like an even more darker version of ArashiYT. We see like him all bloodied up, like he went through something in that bathroom. The same bathroom that the Hypno appeared in 2 years before. And this is what I would love to call like the monster mode of Arashi. Like this is when even if his darker self gets corrupted thanks to the help of Hypno, he turns into like a monster mode where he's just like an animal. He's just like not his normal self anymore. We now know that ArashiYT killed his own brother at the beginning of the video, and afterwards everything was looking back to normal. We now know that after the events of this film, everything somehow went back to normal. Maybe Arashi decided to, you know, get rid of the corpse of his brother and just decided not to talk about it anymore. That is something I should have maybe made a sequel about. Like, there's like a plot hole here. But we now know that thanks to the influence of Hypno, that Arashi now has like a monster mode. His clone mode, his dark side, and his regular side. So it really is funny how a video from 2 years ago, He's Here, resulted into a movie, like a short film 2 years later. And now we're stepping into the next saga of the story, which is probably going to be the final saga where I want to conclude everything. Alright, so my latest short film, Cookie Monster, recorded of course in 2021. Like a long time lapse from the first short film, Hypnose Revenge, and this one. I'm living in a new house, I left everything behind in the old house, you know, and I'm just living my regular life. But then, spooky things are starting happening again. I found a weird Cookie Monster puppet in my house. And I'm like, you know, I'm first brushing it off, like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then, you know, it starts appearing again. And knowing back then from my experience with Hypnose Revenge, I'm like, no, I have to get rid of this thing. I'm not going through all of this again. So I'm trying to get rid of the Cookie Monster. But to a fail, he gets me in the end. And we see a shot this time. This time we see a shot in the end of like Cookie Monster just looking at the camera, or like trying to look at the camera, goes back, and we're cut to black again. And this is where the story of the ArashiYT Cinematic Universe ends, because I'm still planning on to do a sequel on this one, where I will be combining the clone story of like the darkest side of Arashi and the Hypnose Revenge movie. And I want to make one last video where we will be, you know, hitting the finale of everything that started happening in 2015, and then we will have one final conclusion, and then that will be the end of it. This has been a planning in the making for like 6 years, like 2015, and now we're slowly building to the last part of the whole timeline. And I'm so very proud of that, but of course it's not perfect, there are some plot holes here and there, but we're now coming to the final conclusion. I'm going to work on it, I'm going to try to work with a script. I have the plans in my head, I just need to work it out. But that is the full story so far of the Arashi Cinematic Universe. If you have any suggestions, feedback, what the last finale should be, let me know in the comment section below, because I would love to hear you guys' opinions. What do you guys think of this whole timeline, of this whole universe? Because I'm kind of proud of it. Of course, it is sloppy here and there. It is like I said, plot holes and such, but I love this. I love this. It was so hard to be creative with this, but I'm glad it all is panning out right now. I would have probably done something in my older house if I still was living in my older house, but after I got to move to my newer house, I knew was like, okay, now I need to continue with this whole story, because now is the right time, because I'm in a new environment and it makes sense. So that is all. That was the whole explanation of the Arashi Cinematic Universe. I hope you guys enjoyed it so far as well. If you do, don't forget to hit a like button, comment, share this video with others, slash the subscribe button down below, and hit the bell icon, because then you get notified every time I upload a new video, and that is sincerely appreciated. And I'll see you guys once the finale hits the channel.